Hello everybody and welcome back to For Real. This is Claire and I've got a special video for you today. It is the comparison between Kampot and Siem Reap as a place to live for expats. As always, we'd be really interested to know what you think down in the comments section, so let us know which place you think is going to be the best. Of course, we're not going to just say one is better than the other. We're going to explore a whole range of topics and see as we go through which city is, or which town comes out on top, and overall which one might be the best. Distance from Phnom Penh. So Siem Reap is about 6 hours by road from Phnom Penh and Kampot is about 3.5 hours to Phnom Penh. So Kampot is closer, Siem Reap is further. In non-COVID times, Siem Reap has its own airport, but that's kind of irrelevant at the moment because there are no flights. I think there's one flight a week or every couple of days going to Phnom Penh, but certainly no international flights going from that airport at the moment. So presence or absence of an airport is kind of a moot point right now. Population is the next topic. So Kampot is a relatively small town with about 50,000 people, whereas Siem Reap has about 150,000 people. So it's a much bigger town, and because of that you're going to get a much bigger land area for the town, so it's going to be a bit more difficult to get around, whereas Kampot being smaller, the concentration of people is geographically more confined. Jobs. If you're looking for a teaching job, you're definitely better off in Siem Reap. The way it is up there, there's a lot more international schools, a lot more schools teaching English, just a lot more options if you're wanting to teach English. Kampot doesn't have much in the way of schools. People that work here as teaching, probably more likely to do it online. There are NGO jobs here in Kampot, but there are way more of those in Siem Reap and also a lot more in Phnom Penh too. So if you're looking to work, you're better off in Siem Reap than you are in Kampot. Next topic, and you won't believe I wrote these a long time before things are the way they are now. So the next topic is roads, and no prizes for guessing that they are ever so slightly worse in Siem Reap than they are in Kampot. Actually, Kampot has wonderful roads, really nice kind of paved or bitumened roads around the place. It has roundabouts. It just has, miles above the standard of Siem Reap at the moment because of the infrastructure upgrade that's going on in Siem Reap, and it's just so difficult to ride around or walk around or bicycle around in Siem Reap at the moment. I feel like the roads comparison is a little bit unfair for Siem Reap because probably once the roadworks are finished, Siem Reap's road's going to be the envy of the entire country. So that's how it is at the moment, but may well be different in the future. It's time to get polite and talk about the weather. How is it in Siem Reap compared to Kampot? Well, because Kampot is quite close to the ocean, you do get a little bit more of a breeze. So I'd have to say that Kampot is ever so slightly cooler and more comfortable than Siem Reap, and things are a bit more still and stifling up there. Moving on now to the topic of food options, and by options I mean the different types of cuisines available around these two places. So this, I guess, I don't have that much of a full understanding of what's available in Kampot, and also my own dietary preferences are fairly limited, but I would say that Siem Reap's food options are better in that it has a wider range of different cuisines available and different price ranges within those cuisines. I could be wrong about that, and I would be more than happy to stand corrected. In Siem Reap, you're absolutely spoilt for choice in terms of the different kinds of food options that are available and also the different price points for which you can pay for those items. For example, you can get a really amazing, let's say, pineapple fried rice with chicken for about $1.75. You can get pad thai for $2.50. You've seen all of this stuff in our videos. So the Quality and the price of food in Siem Reap, I feel, is really, really good. And I feel that it's actually better than it is in Phnom Penh too. So, yeah, Siem Reap wins hands down in terms of food options, and because of that, the associated food price as well. But you don't always want to go to a restaurant, and you don't always want to get food delivery. Sometimes you want to get food and have it in your house, which is when we need to talk about supermarkets. So Siem Reap has quite a fair number of supermarkets given the size of the city. So you've got the two ankle markets, big and small. You've got Chow Sen Hoc. You've got the two branches of those. You've got Lucky Mart. You've got, several different I'd say probably 10 decent sized supermarkets altogether. And because of that, you have a pretty big range of places you can go to find things that you might need. Having said that, we generally went to Angkor Market, and it has pretty much everything that we would need. And the beauty of going there is that you can just, arrive in one place, get everything that you need, whether it's toilet rolls, paper towels, cat food, cat litter, cleaning products, fresh food, fresh sliced meats, milk, whatever it might be. They have everything that you might want in stock, and you only need to go to one place. Because Kampot's a much smaller place, you do have supermarkets, but they tend to be smaller. And because they're smaller, they don't stock the range that places like Angkor Market does in Siem Reap. So you might find that to get access to the same range of stuff, or even to get close to that, you need to kind of go around to several different supermarkets. So it's not only a bit more expensive, we'd say about 10% more expensive for the things that we regularly buy, but it takes probably about 20% more time and effort as well, because you have to go to different places to get the stuff that you want, or the things that you used to, for a price that you're happy to pay. Next topic is facilities, and by facilities I mean things like hospitals, dental, those kinds of things, vet services if that's something that you might need. And I guess Siem Reap, being a bigger place, is going to win hands down for that kind of stuff. They have an amazing hospital. They have places like the Nektep Clinic, which is a tiny private hospital where you can go and have, you go there and you've got something wrong, you can have a checkup with the doctor, you get a blood test, you wait for the results of the blood test, you go back and see the doctor and have his analysis of the blood results, and then he'll give you the medication that he considers to be appropriate, he or she. In my experience, it's always been a he. And you walk out of the same building to do all of those things within about 20-25 minutes, and it costs you about $20. So those sorts of things are really, really accessible and good in Siem Reap. I'm not sure what they're like in Kampot, but I'm guessing that the level of English is slightly lower here in the general population and in places like that. So you might find that it's a little bit more difficult to get that kind of service on demand like you do in Siem Reap, but because you're in Kampot, you are much closer to Phnom Penh, and if you plan ahead, if it's a kind of, conditional situation where you can plan ahead and get to Phnom Penh, you can leave early one morning and be there by lunchtime to see, a specialist about whatever it is that you need to have attended to. I think you're probably all keen to know about the rental comparisons between Siem Reap and Kampot. Well, Siem Reap has a staggering number of properties available, and because there is so much downturn in terms of the tourist market, the prices of those has just plummeted. So you're spoilt for choice in Siem Reap, and you have, prices that you would never imagine that you'd be able to pay for these sorts of properties. For example, you can get, a one-bed apartment with a pool for just over $200. It's incredibly good value, and not only that, you'd probably have about 10 properties to choose from at that price too. But because Siem Reap is a bigger place, you have to consider whereabouts it is and whether it's close to where you need to be, what kind of transport you have, whether you're going to be on foot, on a bicycle, on a motorbike, or relying on pass apps. So all of that comes into play as well when you're deciding where to live. In a larger town, that's especially more of an issue. But in Kampot, we have found, because we did look at some properties, that availability and standard is much lower than what it is in Siem Reap. So what that equates to is that in Kampot you have to pay more and you're going to get less. But the upshot is that you're going to live in a different place and you're going to have different things around you. So yeah, it's just, as with everything here, it comes down to personal choice, what you decide to pay and where you're happy to live. There's absolutely benefits to both places and, you know, really wonderful things about living in each place. It just depends on what it is that you like, what it is that you want at the, current time. And I guess the other thing is whether you're here with someone else or whether you're here by yourself. So all of those things will help you, thinking about those will help you to decide which place is most appropriate for you. But as I've said before, all of Cambodia is just such an amazing place, such a fantastic place to explore, that you'll have a great time wherever you end up living. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've had fun. I have certainly had fun talking to you about the benefits of Kampot and Siem Reap, both of which are fabulous places in Cambodia. If you have a look in the description below, you will find links to all of the YouTube channels that we follow for our own entertainment, and also other people that are vlogging out of Siem Reap and out of Cambodia. So have a look at those and give those a like and a follow as well. Once again, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate the time that you spent watching our video, and we really hope to see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.